First, I welcome you all to this meeting. The purpose is to reflect on the subject matter of the just concluded 2023 general election. Following the conclusion of the election, the time has come for introspection, stock-taking, review, and evaluation. Since the conclusion of the election, diverse opinions have been expressed by political parties, candidates, observers, analysts, and the general public on aspects of the elections that took place in February and March.
Kenya is a constitutional democracy. Yes. The people of Kenya have matured. They know what it is that makes the power of the people. The people decide. And when the people decide, it's final. In fact, the last election was prosecuted on the platform of issues. In fact, although the election was closely contested, the people of Kenya agreed with the outcome because they participated in it. And our electoral commission did a fantastic job. In fact, it is world acclaimed. Many of the international observers, many of the local observers, in fact, all observers gave our electoral body thumbs up because they did a wonderful job, an incredibly wonderful job. So,
welcome to Politics on the Wheel with Joe and Elliot TV. And reaction this Monday morning, the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, who departed Nigeria sometime last week to Guinea-Bissau, has been elected as the chairman of ECOWAS. And reactions on social media, different political spectrum, having that it was Nigeria's turn to become the chairman of ECOWAS, not that he was elected. You can see that was one of the reaction, and so many people have been responding to that. That some even say that even if, well, I don't want to mention that he's been elected as the president of Nigeria, he was going to be the chairman of ECOWAS this time around. Now, the question is this: can President Bola Ahmed Tinubu be able to bring the West African nations into the limelight as the world is evolving these days? Is this possible? Now, that's by the way, some countries are already sanctioning Nigeria as a result of drug trafficking. And according to the report, they have it that they don't want Nigerians to come to their country anymore because of drug-related issues, as it was obtained that the country's population is over nearly 1 million. And there was an uproar social media over the last weekend, that some Nigerians were caught with some drugs, and as a result, the government said they don't want Nigerians to move to their country anymore. Is Nigeria, image going down day by day as we progresses from one administration to another? That is another topic for another day. So now, I have this special information, this special news for you. The Independent National Electoral Commission, the INEC chairman, made some brutal claim last week, and of which I have the video here that I want to present to you. But before then, the president of Kenya, William Ruto, was speaking after the economic summit in France, and in his reaction to a question asked by a journalist in a one-on-one interactive section, he made it known that the election of Kenya, the past election, was something that everybody gives a thumbs up, even the international observers and that of local observers. But when you come to Nigeria, can you actually say that we had the same scenario in 2023, the election that was conducted in February, as we had the EU report has been rebuked by the federal government and some other political parties that benefited from the result, announced by the INEC chairman on the 1st of March and also 20th of March 2023. Here is a video of the president of Kenya in an interactive section where he make this emphatic analysis as to why Africans need to step up their game in terms of coming into the international community.
Both climate change and poverty. Can this be done with the International Monetary Fund and the World Bank as we know them, or should we get rid of those?
as we know them, we will have difficulty. I think you forgot one aspect. It's just a new global financing pact to deal with poverty, climate change, and also to contextualize the issue of a new architecture for the international financial system, especially the MDBs. In their current status, it's not possible. We have three important issues that inform how we move forward on both issues of financing and also climate change. One is urgency, pace, speed, one aspect. The other aspect is scale, numbers. And the third aspect is cost. How much does it cost? In its current setup, our multilateral development banks take ages to get anything done. That we pay, especially those of us from the global south, especially for those of us in the African continent, we pay up to 8 times more for the same resources because of something called risk. And the Secretary General of the UN was speaking to it yesterday, that why would one set of countries pay more than others? That system that others pay 8 times more than others is broken. It is rigged. It is unfair. And so it is very important for us to do 2 things: to fix the multilateral financial architecture, and number 2, to be clear about climate financing so that we can deal with the challenge of poverty and we can deal with the existential threat that climate change poses to humanity.
That is what Nigerians are missing. Having a president who was more like a spectator in an international conversation in somewhere in France sometime early this month is something that Nigeria is missing and West Africa will be missing now that they have the same person as the chairman of ECOWAS. Is it possible that things will change as we keep moving? It's more than a month now since the inauguration of Bola Ahmed Tinubu as the president of Nigeria, but yet to see the list of his ministerial or his kitchen cabinet, as so many people will refer to it. So that is it from me today, but never you forget that this story that popped up some weeks ago as to who is the highest scorer at the Jamb, this year 2023, as a lady, was accused of, let's say, I've already confessed that she actually forged that result. This is something that we need to look at, the things that is happening within our teenage. Now, for example, we have a president who the certificate issues as of his educational background is questionable, even to that his own name, and those are allegations before the court already. Now, what do we have to say about all those things, as now we have children who are now following suit what they have learned from Mr. President? Time will tell if all these issues will come to an end very soon or not. Let me leave this to you at the comment section as you give us your own thought as to what you think about Tinubu as your president and what the INEC chairman claimed over the weekend. Thank you for watching. If you have not subscribed, please do it to subscribe and hit the notification button as we're about to reach at the destination that we ought to be. Thank you for watching. See you.
First, I welcome you all to this meeting. The purpose is to reflect on the subject matter of the just concluded 2023 general election. Following the conclusion of the election, the time has come for introspection, stock-taking, review, and evaluation. Since the conclusion of the election, diverse opinions have been expressed by political parties, candidates, observers, analysts, and the general public on aspects of the elections that took place in February and March. Such diverse opinions should normally be expected, and the Commission welcomes all of them, insofar as their purpose is to improve the future conduct of elections and to consolidate our democracy. The Commission has consciously not joined in these commentaries in the immediate aftermath of the election for several reasons. First, our preference is to listen more and draw lessons rather than join in the heated and often emotive discussion on the election. Second, since we plan to conduct our own review of the election, we see no need to preempt the process. Third, the Commission would not want to be seen as defensive or justificatory in joining the ongoing discussions. Finally, and perhaps most importantly, several issues around the election are sub judice, and it is not the intention of the Commission to either undermine or promote the chances of litigants in the various election petition courts beyond what is required of us by the legal process. Indeed, practically anything coming from the Commission could be cited by litigants as either justifying their claims or an indication of bias against them. The foregoing notwithstanding, it is appropriate at this point to make a few broad remarks about the 2023 general election as we commence our review of the same election. In doing this, it is necessary to look at the entire process before, during, and after the election to make an informed assessment. Granted that events on election day are probably the most important in terms of optics of elections, it is also very essential to look at the totality of the process. This is necessary if we are to learn the full lessons of the election going forward. Compared to some previous elections, we believe that the 2023 general election was one of the most meticulously prepared for in recent times. Learning from previous experiences, we started preparations immediately after the 2019 general election, carefully ticking the necessary boxes over a 4-year period. It is the need to learn from both the positives and the shortcomings that makes the stock taking that we are embarking upon today very essential. Among the positive stories is that the security challenge which threatened to derail the elections did not materialize. Concerns that the polls will be disrupted by the perennial insecurity across the country fizzled out on election day, as the elections were largely peaceful. Despite currency and fuel challenges and widespread attacks on our personnel and facilities nationwide, the Commission proceeded with the election as scheduled. The first set of elections, the Presidential and National Assembly, held as planned for the first time in the last 4 general elections conducted in the country. Accreditation using the bimodal voter accreditation system, the BVAS, has generally been scored very high by voters. Our records show that the success rate of the BVAS accreditation stands at 98% compared to the smart card readers' 29.2% during the 2019 general election. Above all, despite the divergent opinions about the outcome of the election, the overall outlook suggests that it is a fair reflection of a complex multi-party democracy. We wish to remind Nigerians that elections were held for a total of 1,491 constituencies, made up of 1 presidential, 28 governorship, 109 senatorial, 360 federal constituencies, and 993 state assembly seats. Our record shows that these elections have produced the most diverse outcomes ever produced since 1999. Today, 5 political parties produce state governors, 7 parties won senatorial seats, 8 are represented in the House of Representatives, and 9 in the state houses of assembly. Clearly, the 10th National Assembly is certainly the most diverse in party representation since 1999. In some states,